So with this channel, I want to learn as much as I can about Finland, and there's a whole range of topics that I'm going to be exploring with regards to the country, whether it's the culture, history, geography. But one thing I noticed that there was a lot of videos about with regards to Finland was the houses or the homes in Finland and how they differ to homes in any other part of the world. So I'm going to be looking at that in some videos. Today we're looking at this one. This is called Weird but Genius Things in Finnish Homes. Now, as I mentioned on a previous video, I've watched some Finnish TV shows like Border Town, and when you see the interior shots of the homes in Finland, and of course that's not representative of every home, but they always look very beautiful, very nicely furnished, very nice. And yeah, I'm interested to learn more. You can tell me if there's any interesting things in your Finnish home, but we can watch this video and learn some other ones. Very snowy. I mean, even just the exterior looks quite unique. I mean, I don't really see homes like this in Scotland where I'm from. Definitely not here in Malaysia. I guess it must be, the materials and things must be suitable for this type of weather. Tell me if this is like how a standard Finnish home looks like.
Are you guys gonna just stand outside here, or are you guys gonna let me give you the grand tour of my Finnish home?
Tell me about the cost of a Finnish home. Is it something that is becoming unaffordable? Is this happening in so many other countries, in the UK, Australia, America, Canada? Houses seem to be becoming very unaffordable for most people. Have the house prices in Finland, have they been steadily increasing, dramatically increasing? Tell me more about that.
First things first, you gotta take off your shoes when you come into a house in Finland. Big no-no to wear shoes indoors. All right.
Yeah, so that was something I learned on one of the previous videos, and it's something I said that is very similar to here in Asia. I now live in Malaysia, and no one steps inside any house wearing shoes. Now, coming from the UK where it's so common to wear your shoes indoors, at first it was a big culture shock, but now I would never step inside any house wearing shoes.
Welcome to the Hapoya residence. Let me give you a little bit of tour of the place, and then I'll show you some of the cool and unique features in a Finnish home.
I mean, the look of that sofa is very reminiscent of what I've seen in Finnish television shows. Very clean, very modern, very fashionable and trendy. And yeah, this is exactly my style, actually.
Hope you like that little tour of our house. It's small but cozy. And with all the interior decorating, I can't take the credit all because my boss wife, Vera, has done it all. Whenever she asks me what do I think about something, I always say, babe, I trust you. You have a good eye for this. Because I'm totally clueless when it comes to all this. Anyways, now we're gonna do a little tour of our home and just show you some cool, unique features that maybe differentiate from North American homes where I'm used to growing up in Canada and what's like to live here in Finland and things that I love about the Finnish home. Let's start the tour. You might have been wondering earlier why I said it's an absolute must to take off your shoes in a Finnish home, and the reason why is that in Finland we have laminate or wood floors, and if you're wearing your wet shoes in the house, it doesn't do good for the floor. Which is quite interesting as well, because in Canada or North America you have a lot of homes with full carpets, but here we love to have wood floors, laminate floors. I guess it's kind of that nice Scandinavian modern nature feel. Check out my floors. We got these.
I would have actually thought that not wearing shoes in the house would have been more applicable to carpeted house, because your shoes get so dirty. You step on a carpet, it soaks in all that dirt, it makes it very stained and things like that. I would have thought it was more suitable to wear shoes in a house when you've got laminate, because you can just wipe it clean very easily rather than having to get it steam clean like a carpet and things like that. But I guess it can maybe cause damage, yeah.
Gray laminate flooring. I like the look of it, but to be honest, I like the practicality of it because if there's a little bit of crumbs on the ground, you don't notice it. But if it was white or something else, you'd notice it right away. Don't tell my wife that. Okay, the second feature, a really ingenious thing that all Finnish homes have. In our kitchen, we have something called a drying rack. Basically, when you do the dishes, you know, say you have the smoothie or different things that just don't fit into the dishwasher, you can just put it in here and let the water drip into the sink rather than having some huge drying rack on your kitchen space. That way you save a lot of countertop space, and as well you don't get the mess of the water dripping in. Now,
that is very clever. Of course, the places I've lived, it's always been those drying racks to the side of the sink. But that makes perfect sense, I guess. But the only drawback of this is it takes up some valuable storage space. But with regards to functionality, it's definitely a smarter way to do it.
For Vera and I, we were living in Australia and they didn't have a drying rack like this, and we didn't have a washing machine, which meant like we had all these wet dishes all the time all over the countertop. So when I came back to Finland 2 years ago, I was like, dang, I really appreciate this ingenious invention. I have no clue who created it or who invented it, but whoever you are, thank you. We really appreciate having this in our home.
Tell me if you
and
have
also,
that in yours.
it just nicely hides into the cupboard, so you can't see anything right now when it's like this.
Yeah, that's what it does. Look a lot clean. It makes your kitchen look a lot better and tidier. Sometimes when you've got your dishes all lying all over the side of the place, it does look a bit more messy. And I think that kind of adds into the rest of the house there. You see the place is very just clean and tidy.
It's just built into the closet. Pretty cool, eh? Drying racks here in Finland. If there's one thing about Finnish people are very practical. They're always trying to think of how to make things as practical and logical as possible.
That makes sense.
All right, now we're gonna head into our shower and laundry room. I'm gonna show you something that's kind of interesting in Finland that most people in North America would have, but we don't have in Finland. If you look at this is our laundry room. There's only one machine. We only have washing machines. We don't use dryers, but what we do use is a drying rack. I'll show you how it works. Let me set it up for you and I'll show you how we dry all our clothes. So you take this drying rack, you set it up. When you don't use it, you just stick it in the closet, but when you're using it, you have this clothesline for all your clothes, put them all there, make them dry. Now, it does take a little bit of extra time to do all of this, but the reason why we do this is, well, A, it saves a lot of space in our laundry room, not having to have a drying room. As well, it saves us a lot of electricity. And third, it makes your clothes last a lot longer when you don't just throw it from the washing machine into the dryer, and instead you dry them and air dry them. Again, very logical solutions here in Finland. Finnish people are very logical, very energy saving, and they want to do everything the best they can.
Yeah, to be honest, I have always used a rack like that, a drying rack. I never actually knew that somebody wouldn't know what that is. Maybe in America, in Canada, maybe they don't use these, they just use the drying machine or the dryer. This is what I've always used. I've got a tumble dryer here, I've got a dryer in the house, but we just never use it because, as he mentioned there, the cost, why use that? I mean, I live in Malaysia. Every day is 32 degrees Celsius. It's sunny. We have a balcony. We just put the dryer on the drying rack on there. Put the clothes over. They dry very quickly. And as he said, it's better for the long-term quality of the clothing as well. When it goes in the dryer, you sometimes feel it gets damaged quicker.
So this is the drying rack. I'm gonna throw this back into the closet because, yeah, we don't need it right now.
I never knew people would not know what that is actually. Never thought that.
All right, now it's time to show the one thing that I love the most in our home, and that is the sauna. I did do just a video, I think a week or two ago, about how I love sauna swimming, but little did you know, it's not just when you're at the cottage. Actually, every single Finnish home and apartment usually would have a sauna. Come check this out. So we have the shower here, sauna. So in our own home, we have the sauna is a little crank up the ISO for you guys. Ooh, 20,000 ISO. There's the rocks there where we throw the water.
Is it literally every single house has a sauna? Do any houses not have a sauna? Does it cost a lot of money to run one of them actually? How does it work? Is it electricity driven? Yeah, again, I said on a previous video I love sauna, but I've only ever been when I go to like the gym or the fitness club. To have one in home would just be perfect. But when you use them, is it more like just routine? Do you really enjoy it? Do you feel you get any sort of health benefits from it?
But I love this guy. The sauna is the best. The sauna is perfect in Finland because, you know, after a long day outside, you're super cold, or maybe you go for an evening run and you just want to warm up. Perfect place is in the evening with your wife. Just sit in the sauna, enjoy, relax, talk, have some good quality time. It's probably the one place where you can't bring your phone, meaning you just have good old quality time and conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, saunas. It's a great invention. Every single home in the world, maybe not in warm countries, but at least in cold countries, all cold countries should have a sauna. Super nice, super relaxing, super enjoyable.
I agree.
This room used to be my office. A few months ago, I think last summer, I was still filming in my house in this office room. If you guys remember, these shots were from this room. And as much as I loved the early beginnings of filming this YouTube channel in my house, I'm so glad that I have an office. And now we actually turned this room into my wife's office. And well, let's just say that she did a lot better job with it than I did. Also, let me show you something that I'm very proud of. I'm not very good with tools or doing these handyman things, but my wife hated having the TV in the living room. So we had this shelf system, but something that you don't know is that this shelf actually in my videos used to have 5 shelves, but I actually ended up cutting the shelf off right here and just using some black marker so that the TV fits in there just seamlessly,
perfectly,
and away from sight.
I love the furniture and all that. Every piece of furniture just looks so good, man.
Used to film here all the time in this corner, or face on right here. Brings a lot of nostalgic memories. Everyone's got to start from somewhere. As you can see, Finnish homes are very minimalistic. We love it, just very modern, clean look, very natural, a lot of wood, a lot of brown tones and whites. And it's important. It's important because we really want to enjoy our home because we spend a lot of time inside the home when it's wintertime. So having a nice home is really enjoyable. But before I end the tour, I still want to take you outside and show you a few things that in my opinion are really cool here in Finland. That's something that might be really interesting for you guys from North America or from different cultures in the world. So I'm going to put my jacket back on and we're going to go outside and check a few things out before we end the tour of the Haapoja residence.
When he talks about the interior with regards to the clean look and the minimalist look and the woods and you see the metals and stuff like that here, is that something that's very common throughout every Finnish home? Do you see any more unique styles or anything like that?
Don't worry, I'm not gonna forget you guys. Keys, check, got the keys. One time I was filming a video, left the house, and I locked myself out of the house, so I'm always traumatized nowadays. Gotta have always keys when you're filming. Okay, something that's really interesting in Finland is that we have these things called taloyhtiöt. Basically, all these 8 apartments here in our little center, we are all part of the one group, and basically we share a lot of things. So even now I'm gonna take you, we have this little storage, and instead of everyone owning, for example, a lawnmower or tools to do gardening or something, or for example, there's a water pressure in here that I always wash the cars with, we all share it. So instead of having 8 lawnmowers, I don't have another hand to make the other 3, but instead of having 8 lawnmowers, we just have 1. And if we want to buy gas, one person's been designated to go buy the gas for a lawnmower, or if something breaks or we need more tools, they take out of a fund that we all pool into and we share that money. But check it out.
I mean, first of all, I've just got to say that's absolutely a brilliant idea. I've never seen anything like that in any other country. I've lived in China, Thailand, Malaysia. I've definitely never seen any sort of community idea, community spirit like that. It's just a very sensible idea especially in a small community like that. Not only do you save on cost, you actually get that interaction with your neighbour, and yeah, it's just neighbourly spirit. I really appreciate that.
So for example here, this is kind of like a storage unit thing, but lawnmower here, water pressure thing, whatever it's called in the English, I don't remember. Anyways, to hose off the car. You know, we have gardening tools here. Everything is just shared, which is really cool and really not normal in the individualist society that we live in nowadays, that people would share. But it's worked well. I don't have to buy my own lawnmower, I don't have to buy my own garden tools. Rather, we just share it all, which is really cool. I really enjoyed that about Finland, that we still have kind of this community sense when it comes to your neighborhood.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that common? Also, is that common throughout Finland? Do you live in a place like that? Have you ever seen a place like that before?
I'll let all the heat out. The last thing that I think is really cool about our house, or something that I really love, is that we have these massive garage things. It's not a garage that you just drive into, but you at least have a roof. The reason why this is so important is that when you live in a cold country and it's snowing almost every day or every other day, you don't want to have to remove the snow off your car. So as you can see, no snow right now. And the second thing is, I actually don't know why this happens. This is a little bit of a mystery. But when you have your car underneath one of these little roof carport things, your windshield never freezes. And if you're in...
I mean, that is just one thing that I am mentally scarred about growing up in Scotland, or when I started driving anyway, waking up early in the morning to go to work, go to the office during the winter, and sitting like scraping the windscreen or spraying de-icer, just freezing. Quite good that the Finnish people have a practical solution to that as well.
If you're in a cold country, or if you live in a cold country or have ever been to a cold country, you know how much of a pain in the butt it is to, in the morning when you wake up at 7 in the morning, go scrape off your car windows. It's -10 out. You don't want to do that. So all I do is just jump in my car. I don't have to wipe the snow off my car. Don't have to scrape my windshield. I'm ready to go. And that's something that's really practical and helpful, and I didn't even realize until this winter. I realized, dang, it's good to not have to do any snow or ice work on my car.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's the end of my grand tour of the Hapoya residence. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the behind the scenes of my home and just...
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. I mean, I see why there's a lot of videos about Finnish homes. They seem very unique. Not just the home itself, but that community idea there. That was really cool to find out and learn about. But again, as I said, the interior just looks my style. I love the fashion of them, and some great little unique touches throughout that. So tell me about your Finnish home. Anything unique there that wasn't mentioned on this video? Thanks.